Video podcasting is everywhere right now, but most people are adding video in without understanding what problem it actually solves. Let's talk about when video helps, when it hurts, and why audio is still doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Let's get into it. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to this week's episode of As It Relates to Podcasting. My name is Simona Costantini, and I'm the host of the show. And today's topic is really important because I see this all the time. People are like, oh, I need to have a video podcast. I have to have video for my podcast. I need to have a video component to my podcast. And while there's a lot of truth to this, there's also a lot of myths in the space of, you must have video with your podcast. So we're going to break down some of this today and kind of get through some of the myths and some of the things that people say that you should do. And I'm just not really a fan of shoulds. So we're going to do what we want to do at the end of the day. Before we get into today's conversation, I want to share with you that my membership, the Podcast Success Vault, is open for you to come and join us. It is an amazing community. We meet every single week for 3 weeks of every single month for an hour. And we talk about all of the problems and all the challenges that you have as a creator, as a podcaster, as a business owner. And we create real strategies and real plans to help you get through those really hard moments and also in the growth of your podcast. So please check it out. Come and join us. The link is in the episode notes below. I would love to have you in there. Would love to see you. Would love to meet you. So with that, let's get into today's episode. So I like to break things out into 3 parts so that we can very easily understand what we are talking about, what we are covering. In this first part, I want to highlight that video in and of itself is a distribution strategy, but it is absolutely not a requirement. First things first is that video really does help discoverability, but not always the depth, right? YouTube will surface your content and it'll share your content differently than it does with audio platforms. And what's great about this is that your video content will get a lot of eyes, but it doesn't always get a lot of loyalty, right? Like people don't always convert to subscriber after they watch your video, or they may bounce to somebody else or to another creator or to another person. And so the depth of your podcast and the depth and the retention of your show still comes from conversation quality. It still comes from content that is actually going to help someone, that is relevant in someone's life. If you think about it like this, video gets clicks and audio is that piece that builds a relationship, because at the end of the day, even if you didn't have a video component, you still have an audio component. You always have an audio component, right? Your voice at the end of the day is the thing that is connecting people to the words that you are saying. And of course, having video is fantastic because you can see the person, you can see them in real time, but without the audio, the video can lose connection. Does that make sense? So I wanted to leave you with that yes, that video gets eyes and it's an incredible tool for discoverability, but it is not always the be all end all. There's ways that you can incorporate video into your podcast overall versus having a video-based podcast. Now, the second thing is that YouTube rewards clarity and it rewards consistency. So there's a lot that goes into play on the YouTube side. This is something that we test for clients every single week. This is tests that we do with our own content as well. Things like testing titles and show structures. These things matter, and it matters more than what the actual visual looks like. Like, yes, you want to make sure that the visual is beautiful and the graphics are beautiful and all of that. But the title of the episode, the title of the content, and the structure of that content is really, really, really important because you want people to come in and convert over. And so algorithms, especially on the video platforms, care about watch time. They care about how long are people staying on this video. They don't necessarily care about production value, but what happens is when the production value is there and it's beautiful and everything looks great, then you're probably going to have a higher watch time. I think of my own content and I would say like the production value isn't this like massive crazy studio and all of the things. Like that's just not what I have available to me, right? But I know that my content answers a specific set of questions and things that people are searching for on YouTube, which is why I created a video component of this podcast. But you also need to remember the format of the show. Having a confusing format or a format that doesn't convert will actually stall your growth. I really want you to think about what type of format performs best on a video first platform. You got to think about all these additional pieces and constantly be testing them. Thumbnails and titles and descriptions, they all matter. They're all so important. And when it's not clear, it will kill a very good video. You lose people drop off, you talk too slow, whatever it is, people are like, I've had enough, I'm leaving. And that can kill your video. The next sort of idea too is that having really bad video can sometimes hurt more than having no video. We're in an era, I think, where audio needs to be good, no matter what you're doing. Video can still be a little bit more forgiving. People are a little bit more forgiving of that. But if you have poor lighting, bad framing, a really grainy camera, inconsistent uploads, all of these things erode trust. All of these things become distractions. They become visual distractions, and they reduce the impact of your message. You want to know what you're doing with lighting and video and the quality of your camera and all of those pieces because they're really important for the viewer. If people are watching your video, it's because they prefer that video first method, that video first content. So you kind of got to deliver on it. And in the last couple of years, it's kind of been an area of, you don't have to have the most beautiful video. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful thing. And the problem with that is that it's not true as much today. Like, people are way less forgiving because of how much access to technology we have. People absolutely care about what the video looks like. People care what it sounds like. So when you have an audio only podcast, it avoids this risk entirely. It avoids, the possibility of your video just really not being up to the par, the level that maybe you even want it to be at, right? So sometimes, and not all the time, but sometimes having no video is actually better than having video that isn't communicating your message across in that way. Now, the second part here is your audio. So your audio still wins for the intimacy and the loyalty of your audience. Audio audiences just tend to stay longer. People who listen to audio-based content are doing so when they're driving, when they're picking up the kids, when they're in the school line drop off, or, going for a run, going for a walk, playing with the dog, hanging out, whatever it is that they're doing. Completion rates tend to be higher on the audio side because your audio fits into your daily life. Long-term loyalty and listener retention tends to favor the audio side versus the video side. And it's not surprising, right? Because if someone's watching a video, you're sitting down, you're being intentional, and you're actually looking for an answer to a specific question that you have. Whereas audio can tend to be a little bit more on the entertaining side. The next piece is your multitasking. So multitasking drives consistency. Listeners do not need to stop what they're doing to listen to your podcast episode. And it helps them create habits, right? Habits around listening, habits around coming to your podcast, habits around downloading your episode that can tend to, give them the information that they need faster, but also can convert them into a loyal audience listener. It feels easier to listen to an audio-based platform. It feels like more commitment sometimes to listen to video. So there's also that distinction as well. The important thing here is that trust is built through your voice. Like I said in the beginning, at the end of the day, people are connecting to your voice with or without video. Your tone, your pacing, your vulnerability, those all matter. The way that you talk to your audience, the way that you share with your audience, the things that you talk about, those matter, right? Your voice builds familiarity. And it doesn't matter if someone's watching the video or not. If they hear your voice, they will recognize it. I was listening to something the other day and I was editing a client podcast, and the guest had said that she was in the grocery store and someone recognized her voice because she listened to a podcast that she was on. And I thought that was super cool. And I thought it was super powerful because we don't always know what someone looks like, but you can find that familiarity in their voice, which is really important because familiarity is the thing that builds retention. At the end of the day, podcasting is the business of building relationships. If you look at all of the best podcasts out there, those are the ones that build the best relationships. So think about your community. Think about the relationships that you're building with your show and how important it is to have your voice be at the center of that. Now, if you want to take it a step further and think about, a strategic hybrid approach to approaching this, I'm not saying don't add video into your podcast. What I am saying is be intentional with the way in which that you do it. So the way that you could approach this is by recording audio first. Audio quality is a non-negotiable. It is something that people will not be so forgiving of anymore. We have too many options out there for good quality microphones for people to be like, oh, it's fine, don't worry. No, people want to hear good audio, especially when there's so much content and so much selection out there of what they can listen to. You can have your video as that optional output, as that additional thing that you bring in for your viewer and for the discoverability. This gives you less pressure, and it's a little bit more sustainable over time if you don't have the time to sit down and record with video all the time. You want to secondly use video for discoverability, and you want to use audio for relationships. So clips will bring people in. Audio is the thing that will keep them coming back, right? So you want to think about, where are you sending your audience? Where are you telling them to meet you? Audio or video? They each have separate jobs, right? The audio side and the video side. But they are all part of the same ecosystem. So really think about the ecosystem that you are building behind your voice and behind your video. But the most important piece is only adding video in if it's something that you can actually sustain. Sustainability beats trends every single time. Consistency will always outweigh perfection. And resentment kills creativity. If you are resentful towards your show, resentful towards having to sit down and record, it is always going to feel like a chore, and it is always going to feel very overwhelming and just like something you don't want to do. So my encouragement for you is to just have fun. Bring video in where it makes sense for you. Bring audio in where it makes sense for you. And figure out what is the best plan for you to support your overall goals. If you want to have a conversation about this, I am all ears. I'm always happy to hear from you and to answer your questions. If you have questions about this specifically, I would love to hear them. At the end of the day, I want you to choose the format that supports your voice and not the one that drains it. Choose the option that allows you to show up every single week. Choose the option that allows you to connect in your most authentic and deepest way. Now, I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for joining me for today's conversation. Feel free to check out one of our past episodes as well. We have so much content on here for you to listen to. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I will see you same time, same place next week. Bye for now.